fighting. They're always fighting for something.
Yeah. People are taking away his right to
don't
rock.
take my right to rock away.
This is my...
Who's trying? That's my whole thing.
Tipper Gore.
This guy's walking around trying to take your rock away.
I never had anyone approach me. Give me your albums. You don't have a right to rock, son. Quiet session recording.
That's what I said.
All right, let's do this. Welcome back to the Say What You Will podcast. Thanks for listening. Thanks for liking and sharing and all your kind words. Right, Mark?
They better be. They better be kind words.
Or you're coming after them?
That's right.
How you doing, Dennis?
Good.
Yeah?
Good. Glad to be back and talking music.
Friday night?
Warm
Warm finally?
weather.
In the kitchen.
In the kitchen. Yeah, we've never recorded in this kitchen.
You know what?
Uh-oh. What are you gonna get the stove going, cook something up? Oh, a little mood lighting. You want me,
Pants on, Derek.
how about I pipe in some music now and
Yeah, a little Neil Diamond.
a little Barry White. All right, well, let's get into it. We do our news thing.
Sure.
Anyone want to start?
Yeah. Want me to go?
Sure.
I'll find my news. Yeah, too many pages here.
Oh, Jesus. Mark's got...
Where's my news? Don't tell me I left my news
What do
at
you-
work.
Uh-oh.
Oh, while he's looking at that,
And I don't have it. Shoot.
while he's looking at that,
I mean, I kind of remember what.
Les Banks passing away, right?
Yeah.
The drummer, original drummer from Judas
Yeah,
Priest.
that was one of my.
That's
things.
everywhere, for the most part.
Yeah,
I
don't have
learned this week, first two albums he did.
Good
that
question. I thought he did. Was he on?
He was on
Point of Entry?
early. No,
No.
earlier, like Sad Wings of Destiny, that stuff. The
Okay.
early stuff.
And I also learned that they were always like, the drummer was always the hired hand in that
Yeah.
band.
Yeah.
I never knew. I thought they were a quote unquote band.
Right. Yeah, it looks like Banks remained with Judas Priest for 2.5 years until 1975, recording studio albums Stained Class and Killing Machine. And then he did the live.
Oh, he's on
Unleashed-
Stained Class. Huh?
Yeah, and then Unleashed in the East in 79.
All right.
So, and then that was it. So, yeah.
Huh.
I think he, was on good terms with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
He was originally...
Didn't he came back for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I think.
Yeah, yep, you're right. Yeah, I don't think he did anything because he was, I think this was failing health.
Yeah.
His health. But he was part of the KK Downing's band. He's pretty tight with KK, and he was in his, what's KK's Priest or whatever it's called. And, they got a couple albums. He was on the first, or he ended up, was going to be on the first album. And then he got sick, and then he ended up not doing it. So, but yeah. So
Doesn't Richie Faulkner have health issues? Oh, he had a heart attack
he had
on
that
stage or something.
medical episode. Yeah. I don't know if it was a stroke or something. Yeah.
Oh, you know what I just heard too? Richie Blackmore had a heart attack.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa.
I didn't
80.
know that.
Yeah, he's 80 years old.
Yeah. So you forget how old these guys are. Wow. What else you got done?
Well, I mean, I think the Triumph thing,
Yeah.
which I thought I was kind of disappointed because they were marketing it as big news coming.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I follow them or follow their Twitter or whatever you call it handle, and it was like big news coming, and I'm thinking like, oh wow, I mean, are they going to release new music
Yeah.
or is Rick Emmett back in the band? They're going to go on a tour, and I guess it's basically that greatest hits album sung by guest singers,
Oh, yeah.
So who cares?
Did I send you the Sebastian?
No, I don't think you
So,
did, but he's on it.
He's on it. I
Yeah.
forget what he sings. And then today I just heard Dee Snider.
Oh, really?
He does. God, I should probably know the songs they cover, but he's another one. It's not, Rick is such a distinct voice.
Oh, yeah.
So it's hard
Guitar
to
player.
do. It's like, hey,
Well,
let's
it's like replacing
cover.
Geddy Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That voice. It's just some voices are just irreplaceable.
Yeah, like they've done Van Halen tribute albums with other people covering, and it's just
It
like
doesn't sound right.
no.
No. Yeah, I was disappointed. I thought it was going to be new material or something, but, and then they came out with this. And it was just like the same old, tired approach. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, man.
Now, did they do this for was it an anniversary or what? Why are they doing it? Do we know?
I don't think so. I think, well, no, you're right. I think it might have been their 50th anniversary or something like that. Yeah, I'll look up, while you guys chat. But yeah. So, I mean, it was kind of a little bit of a letdown because I think there'd be more. That's an opportunity to do something special.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but
The special album that's out right now is that freaking Live at the Greek reissue.
oh yeah,
Oh, my
oh God,
it's so
yeah.
good.
Listen to it every day.
It's so
You
good.
know, every day.
Did you find anything, Mr. Mark?
Van Halen.
Who are they?
They're just up and coming band.
Nice.
Yeah.
Where are they out of?
Auburn.
Auburn, New Hampshire.
Their Jump just surpassed 1 billion streams on Spotify.
Wow.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it is. There's only like 10 bands that have done that, I think. It's
Yeah.
kind of a
Well, because that's a crossover song, right?
oh yeah.
I mean, you got rock people that are going to like it. You got the pop soccer mom who's going to like the song. When you cross over like that, that's when you hit those numbers,
Right.
Yeah.
So that's pretty impressive.
yeah, it's their number one most popular song on Spotify, followed by number 2 being Panama.
Yeah.
Number 3, Ain't Talking About Love. Number 4, good Lord, Why Can't This Be Love?
Wow.
And 5, Running with the Devil.
I don't like that song.
I mean,
Why
Yeah.
can't this be love?
no.
Mm-hmm.
But it's another crossover.
Right.
Yeah.
Pop. So I guess there's a new rock festival. You're not going to believe who's on this lineup.
Is this the one in Europe?
No.
Oh,
Get a load of this lineup.
something new.
Def Leppard, Motley Crue, and Bret Michaels.
That's the one. It is in Europe, I think. I saw it. It's
No, it's in Mexico.
oh, Mexico. Yeah, you're right. Extremes on
Extremes
it too.
on it, and
Solinger.
nope,
Who?
the Struts.
Oh yeah.
The Struts, and there's a couple other smaller bands.
The Struts should. They should.
The Buck Cherry's on it.
The Struts should do well on it. Like they put on a '80s rock
Yeah,
show.
I don't
Probably
know.
rather-
That's risky. I don't know.
I don't know. That's a. I don't.
I mean, they're very energetic.
Right.
You know,
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that part of it. It's just I don't know. I'd want to see them more than the other three,
Yeah.
quite frankly.
So what do we
Yeah.
got here? We've got Guns N' Roses always touring, right? Same
yeah.
thing
And these
every year.
three-
You got Motley, they're doing the same thing. Def Leppard doing
Well,
the
why
same
can't
thing.
these three bands go out with other bands other than themselves all the time? Why is it always
Yeah,
these
I don't-
three bands together?
I don't know. I don't even know if Motley's in shape to do it. I mean, I think
Right.
Vince is pretty down in the dumps.
Mm.
Ill.
Vince,
Yeah.
what's his problem?
Vincent Neil.
Neil Wharton.
Neil. He's just been sick, off the radar.
Yeah.
Haven't said
Um,
anything.
Shannon and Rumbola left Godsmack.
Right.
I saw that. Yeah.
I guess they left a while ago, but didn't come out. They got touring guys now, but
Huh.
kind of interesting.
Yep.
What else you got, Dan?
No, I just comment going to be going to see AC/DC. Yeah, I think I told you guys that.
Where?
Going to be like
Foxwoods.
a party
I mean
bus,
Foxwoods.
Gillette.
Foxborough.
Who you going with?
There's like 10, 12 couples going.
Wow.
Really?
Pat now got a party bus, I guess you could
Wow.
call it, leaving Londonderry. And
Oh boy.
but the thing is, it's like, just talking to some of these guys and their wives and stuff, and it's like, like I guess I look at it differently. Like, if somebody, Brian Johnson's what, 77? There's no Cliff Williams.
There's
Right?
no Rudd.
There's no Rudd in the
Angus.
There's
band.
no Malcolm Young.
And it's kind of like, like just talking to some of these other guys. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody cares. It's like, long as it's Angus and Brian Johnson.
Oh, it's like the Black
And I'm like,
you got the two brothers, and
I
that's
don't
it.
know.
So and be ready for apparently on the last run that they did, after every song there's like a 3-minute silent break
Oh, really?
of
Huh.
darkness and them probably taking oxygen
Oh,
and
yeah.
anything else they can to keep going, especially Brian.
Yeah.
So that'll be weird. It's
Yeah.
funny, I told you guys when I saw Metallica, they do like these breaks and they go onto the stage, but they do breaks to move the drum set to different quadrants
Yeah,
of
yeah.
the arena. But
I thought he had 3 different sets.
he has
but-
4. They're all
Oh.
different, but they still got to bring one down and the other one
bring
up.
the other one up.
So they take these weird breaks where they're just like playing this.
Yeah, it's a whole
Soundtrack.
different thing now,
So
I like
weird.
a stage at the end of an arena.
Oh, I do too.
And just get up and play.
Yeah.
I don't need the theatrical
I want this sound coming to me in a wave across the arena.
across the arena. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like the in and around crap.
No. I'm excited. I got Crows going to be at where the Bank of America, Bank of New Hampshire Pavilion there
Oh, yeah. Guilford.
in Guilford. So I saw them at MGM in Boston a year ago or so, and it was unbelievable. And
And they're the only 2 originals, the brothers, right?
they're going to be there, and I got 9th row.
Oh,
I'm
jeez.
super
Wow.
psyched.
Wow.
I got in on an early
Wow.
thing.
You front row?
No, 9th row.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah. So, well, piggybacking on the Judas Priest info there, they're going out on tour with Alice Cooper.
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
Yeah. Yeah.
And Corrosion opening up.
I like Corrosion.
Yeah.
Wow.
We saw them open for Metallica. Were you at that? The Garden?
I don't know.
That was in the round.
I never remembered concerts that much anymore.
I think we went to that. I don't know. You, me, Washburn, and Hilliger?
I think so.
Yeah.
Huh. So there's that, and then I heard a little bit. I listened to this podcast. I forget what it was, but it was a guy who is close in the Van Halen, David Lee Roth sphere, and he was talking about Dave on this M3 thing that they have been rehearsing, and him, for the last few months. Rumor has it he's been taking vocal lessons. Like, he wants to go out with a
Bang.
a good show, being
Wow.
able to sing and do it right one last time.
Yeah, because he's been. I mean,
So,
he's been
and, like,
rough.
he's been fronting his own money, paying, like, they're in a, not a stadium, but they're in a big venue doing pre-production for the concert.
Really?
They've been
Wow.
doing it for months.
Wow.
So that'll be interesting to see.
Mm.
I won't be there, but
So he's got 2 shows. Doesn't he have M3 and there's another one?
another one
right?
in like October or September or
Yeah.
something. I don't know where that is.
Yeah.
But, he doesn't need the money.
Yeah.
So it's got to
Yeah.
be that he really wants to save face, and he's trying to
Yeah.
do everything he can to say, this is me and this is my last hurrah, hopefully.
Well, it's really
Yeah.
his music
he's-
now, right? I mean, he's the only one.
Yeah.
No one else is playing it. So,
Yeah.
I mean, Hagar's not singing the early stuff, right?
maybe.
I mean,
one
Well,
or
Mike
2.
does like he
Oh,
sings
right.
something.
Yeah.
Which
Okay.
is kind of stupid, but so yeah, that could be pretty good if that goes well. I think that's all I have.
Okay.
I only got one more, kind of a big news.
Oh,
Satchel from Steel Panther is releasing his new distortion pedal called the Platinum Pocket Pussy Melter, which of course is the follow-up to the Poontang Boomerang effects pedal we had and the Butthole Burner.
Shut up. These aren't real. Really?
Wow.
Platinum Pocket Pussy Melter. Oh.
Can I get a little more feedback on the butthole boomerang, whatever you...
They're still,
Poontang Boomerang.
they still tour, huh? They get out.
Yeah, you got a new pedal.
Well, they got rid of the bass player, right? Didn't that guy fade
I think he
out?
left.
He left, yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Who
know
left?
why. The bass player.
Yeah, he's out. They got some other guy in there.
Yep. All right.
All right.
Well, let's get into it. We've got 3 albums. It's funny having to redo the list a little bit for the year because they're all over the place. And I don't know. Looking at the list, did you look at that revised tab that I created at all on the spreadsheet?
Yes. Yep.
Looking at that, it's like I think 83 had better
Yeah.
better albums.
Yeah.
Right.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
85. Yeah.
Well, I mean, 85 too is you've got that new wave was really starting to pick up because of the keyboards, because of the MTV now is full throttle. 85,
Yeah,
right?
Hairband, L.A. Sunstruck.
And you got that rhythm and blues, soul stuff coming out of England. The Simple Minds, Simply
that,
Red, that kind of stuff. Duran Duran's
Well, it was
taking
so
over.
interesting back then where all these genres could coexist together.
Yep.
Where now it's like either this is in or that's in. You can't have this and you can't have that. It's like hard rock hairband couldn't stick around because grunge come out. It's like, why?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why can't you coexist?
Well, we've talked about
I mean, the
'cause of
quality of it was getting bad,
yeah.
but you can control that.
And, we talked about what ruined that era was the labels.
Labels.
And they're only going to jump behind whatever's hot. And
Yeah, it was getting really. The product was just mediocre at that point. But
yeah. All right. What do you want? So we got 3 albums. We've got,
then what do you want to do?
let's list them here. We've
Yep.
got Cyndi Lauper.
Yep.
Girls
Cars
just want to have
with
fun. No, we've got The Firm, Keel, The Right to Rock, Wah, and The Cult Love. I don't care which way we go.
How about Keel?
Let's do Keel.
Mr. Keel,
Let's bring them up.
Mr. Sister.
L.A.
Keel.
band, right?
Yep.
Right, I think they're out of L.A.
So lineup: Ron Keel, vocals, some guitar. Mark Ferrari, guitar and vocals. Brian J, guitar and vocals. Kenny Chase and bass. Steve Riley,
Yeah. Did
drums.
all the drums.
Yeah.
Riley's on this one?
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. And then of course, and we're gonna talk about this guy a lot on this, but Gene Simmons.
Oh, yeah.
Gene
So
Simmons.
this is
yeah.
another
He's
Gene
the
Simmons
producer.
project. Yeah,
Produced
it's
it.
his project.
Yeah. Lots of different writers on this album.
Mm-hmm.
Is that Kenny Chase on? Is he Greg Chase's brother?
Who's-
There was a Greg Chase on.
Oh, I don't know.
He was in a bunch of those metal bands back then.
No idea.
I wonder if that's his brother.
The band had only written 3 songs for this studio album. Then they did covers and re-records. I guess they had a debut album we never covered, but yeah, it's just weird.
Yeah, and Simmons is all over this.
Yeah.
Not only influence, but he's also got writing credits too.
Yeah.
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 Mm.
I mean, Riley left Keel to go to Wasp. And then Wasp, he went to LA Guns, right?
Yep.
He was in LA Guns for
Yep.
a while.
Right.
Ferrari.
I don't think he did all the guitars on this. I think he just did a couple of songs.
Ferrari?
Yeah, I could be
Oh.
wrong.
Oh, because who did it most of them? Brian J?
I don't know. I had a hunch that he wasn't. Oh, maybe he's just written a couple.
He
of
didn't
them.
write anything. on
Okay,
this.
maybe.
Oh no, he wrote.
the first one.
Yeah,
So
but
And
What
now
was the band he had after this?
who?
Mark Ferrari.
I think
Right in
Ferrari.
the height of the hair band. You know,
He did-
metal edge.
I think it
days.
was Ferrari.
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Oni Logan was with him. That's where Oni came
Oh,
from.
Oni came from
Right.
Look
that?
that up. I
Oh,
think-
that's
Okay.
that whole story with Doc Lynch.
Oh, no.
Remember? Do you want to like own a Ferrari or do you
Yeah,
want to?
yeah,
Yeah, remember
yeah.
that? I think you told the story.
He was in Cold Sweat
Who?
with that
Oh yeah.
kid from Bedford. Eric Garmins. He was
Oh,
from
really?
Bedford. That's Cold Sweat. That was after Keel.
Huh.
I don't know if he was in that. What was the other band he said?
Ferrari.
Ferrari. Yeah,
Yeah.
because Oni was in it.
Right. Yeah.
That's his
And-
real name.
Oni.
No,
Yeah.
Ferrari.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and Lynch stole Logan.
Well, his cousin is Don Chevette. Mark.
He always struggled. He never had any money. Well, I'm looking at Mark Ferrari here, and it says he's in Cold Sweat, Keel, Medicine Wheel, and he had one solo album, but it wasn't until like 95 and 2003.
Huh.
No, I don't know.
I don't
It
know.
says
Look up Oni Logan. Find out where he.
right.
Oni?
Find out his career. That's the best
find out
album.
what
That
he's
first
doing.
Lynch Mob album is so good.
So I mean, the numbers. There aren't any numbers. I don't believe this album charted at all. I couldn't
Yeah.
find any sales numbers on this.
You wouldn't even
Yeah,
recognize Oni.
as you said, second release. A&M is the label.
And the only reason Gene
Yeah,
has to be.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah. After a year performing, blah, 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 he was invited to Los Angeles by Mark Ferrari to become the singer of his new band, Ferrari. But I wonder if it never got off the ground.
Maybe not.
Yeah, maybe not.
Yeah, they may have got a deal. They probably didn't. I think Lynch found him in the club.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like in 89. So how
Yeah.
much time did he have to play with Ferrari?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. You have any more?
No, there wasn't really anything. I mean, it wasn't successful from a commercial standpoint. I mean, you know, it did get some visibility with the video. I mean, I remember buying the album because of that one song, which is the first song, "The Right to Rock," and there was a
That was the
video.
one song.
Yeah, it was the video and everything else, but that, you know, that was it. Never went anywhere. I don't even know. I didn't check who they toured with. You know.
No, I didn't.
They
either.
might have
Yeah.
went out with the likes of. I could see them opening for like Dio,
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
dates like that.
Yep.
Yep.
And then I don't know how many albums he had after, but then he left and went to Nashville and did country.
That's right.
7 albums.
Yeah.
Keel?
Ron Keel.
7 albums. Well, I don't know. Keel. He had 84, 85, 86, and 87, 89, and then
No wonder.
everything ended. Then 98 and 2010.
Huh.
He probably, these last 3 are probably all self.
Right.
Right.
I don't think he's on a label.
But he's still like doing the country thing. He's like
Yeah.
a country rock.
Ronnie Lee
guy.
Keel.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
No, he's probably
Not to be confused with regular Ronnie Keel. His brother.
Regularly Ronnie Keel.
he's probably better off there. Country.
There's like Yngwie J. Malmsteen.
Not to be confused with the other Ingves in the business. That movie's got to be coming out soon. Part 2.
yeah.
When's that coming out?
Oh yeah.
We talked about it in
Yeah.
one of the podcasts. I
Yeah.
don't remember. I thought it was this
This summer.
spring. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into this classic. First song, Right to Rock.
So
Go
go.
ahead there.
so this is the single. It's the video. It's the the one hit they had
Yeah.
here. You immediately, I thought there was a little bit of a Crocus type of vibe to this.
That's a good.
Yeah, and Keel, immediately you're listening to this and probably thinking like, oh man, it's one of those voices that you just have a difficulty listening to over,
Yes.
through the album.
Yes.
So, I mean, I'd say the song was okay. It was better at the time. I don't know that it's aged that well,
No, I can answer that.
Yeah.
I think the opening scream's got to be in the Guinness Book of World Records for the longest scream I've heard on a song.
And it's like 4 layers of.
There's no way he did that.
No,
one long.
you can hear them overlay.
Oh my God,
it's awful.
I mean,
but they want you to think he's screaming that long.
Well, he's got the right to rock. I mean, you
Yeah,
might as
and-
well, right?
what we're gonna find is that this is like the stupid Kiss lyrics. You know what I mean?
Oh, he's all over this.
You know, stupid Kiss lyrics.
He's all over this. This song's a typical 80s rebellion anthem.
Yeah.
Cliche, lyrical content. It's cliche. You know, you're fighting. They're always fighting for something.
Yeah. People are taking away his
Yeah,
right to
don't
rock.
take my right to rock away.
This is
So
my
dumb, yeah.
Who's trying? That's my whole thing.
Tipper Gore.
This guy's
Come
walking
on.
around trying to take your rock away.
I never had anyone approach me. Give me your albums. You don't have a right to rock, son.
So
Oh. All right, yeah, I just oh my God, right at the beginning the vocal just threw me for a loop. That the guitar tone, but as I was listening to it, I was like, this is Gene's tone. This is like
Right.
it's got
He's controlling this whole
got his
thing.
sound all
This
over
is
it.
basically
Kiss
his
song.
solo album, but he's not singing.
right. Yep.
Although a couple of these songs sounds like he is singing.
Yeah. yeah.
The way,
the
way he's
the
singing.
way he's singing,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
I think as we go through this, that one thing. So it's like I felt like it was like Wasp meets Kiss. You know, like Blackie
It's
Lawless
just more
and that
edgier
kind of
Kiss.
yeah.
The best part of this song is the end, the double bass. I mean,
Yeah,
the only
but
thing-
the like we talk about, the drum mix is horrible.
Did-
Right.
It's like they put 5 minutes of work into getting a drum sound.
Right.
not to make this album any longer, but did I send you guys the drumming thing today from Rick Beato? The guy playing AC/DC.
Yeah.
Did you listen to that?
Yeah,
It's
what
mi-
was the thing?
it's
Where it starts out with a
mind-numbing.
girl hanging off a car?
No, something
was
else.
that?
All right, we can discuss it later, but maybe I didn't. No, I did send it to you.
Yeah.
But check it out later. It's crazy. All right, yeah. So all right, that's the first song. Second song is "Back to the City."
I like the chugging riff in this.
Yep.
It sounds.
I thought
cool.
Priest.
Yeah, it's got
Yeah,
that.
I'm like, oh, this guy up.
Yeah.
You know, like they're ripping.
Which is pretty
Priest.
common back
Yeah.
then, the chug. I already hate Ron's voice at this point.
Yeah.
I can't take it.
No.
I like the chorus in this. It's a decent track, and just Keel's ruining it with his vocals. If they had a better singer, it would be a pretty good song.
right.
The thing is, though, like a lot of these guitar riffs and the way the song is structured, it just seems like a regular guitar. You know, a good guitar player, Mike. could write-
Anybody could.
He could just
play it.
wait this in 30 seconds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I think
There's
Mark
no thought.
Ferrari got a little more credit than he should have got for a guitar player. He
Yeah.
didn't. He was nothing
Right.
spectacular.
Like it just feels like they wrote a song to write a song and not really said, you know. At the end here, my comment on this is like, are these really the best songs that they had for the album?
I hate
Like,
to hear the bad ones.
Yeah, like
No
and
creativity.
the vocals really
No.
bother me. So, third song, "Let's Spend the Night Together."
This was just a bad decision.
Mess.
You know, bad move. I mean,
First
if you're
of-
going to do a cover.
That's not a cover a band like that should. That's a cover the Black Crowes should do, and they would probably kill it.
Or
Yeah.
like a punk band
Or a punk band.
that's going to totally change it.
Keel, come on.
Yep.
I'm not buying into it. And his singing is just so bad.
Yeah.
I wonder what he sounds like as a country. You know, like where he controls his voice a little bit. I don't know, matured. Maybe he's better there.
We're going to have to
Yeah.
check it out.
Yeah,
figure
yeah,
that-
it'd be
find that
interesting.
out.
But yeah, this was just a bad decision. It's almost
Oh.
like an album filler. Like, oh, we got to put another song in here.
Well, it's just Gene saying, let's just get this, push this out so I can make some money and fill, pad my wallet.
I think he lost money on this.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I mean, no sales.
Greg chasing was the bass player in Badlands.
Oh,
I wonder if that's his brother.
he was awesome.
Yeah.
All right, next song. Easier said than done.
This is the one I said you could tell Gene Simmons wrote this song. It
Yep.
sounds like a
It
Gene
is
Simmons
written
or
by him.
Kiss
Yeah.
song.
Yeah,
Right
the
out of the
ripping
gate.
Kiss. Yeah.
It's horrible.
Yeah, but it's definitely it's got all the elements.
He's all over this.
Yeah, it's bad. I said it's just really bad songwriting, and I don't know if it was after we were done, Mark, but I jammed with a couple of guys that were from Dover one time, and they were like, "Oh, you got to come over and this that," and when I went over there, the songs were like this, and I'm like, "There's nothing to this."
I know.
Uh,
Well, the
It's
problem is you either have the ability to write or you don't. And you
Yeah.
can even be a great musician and a great drummer, a great bass player, but if you can't write songs, it's useless.
Yeah.
Right.
It's completely useless.
All these songs are like 3 minutes and a few seconds.
Too
Terrible.
long.
Yeah.
First of all, what
In
is
and
Gene
out.
Simmons doing writing? I wouldn't let him write
Yeah.
one iota on my album.
Yeah.
Well, when he's
He
front,
doesn't have any that
No, but he's
writing
just
clout.
right.
Well, no, he wrote some of the Kiss big hits, but yeah,
Did he?
I think so.
I thought Stanley had Ace wrote most of that.
I think the ones that Gene sings on. are
He
the
sings
ones
on. Oh, did he sing the ones he wrote? Is that how
I
that
think
works?
so.
I think so.
We saw that on Lick It Up or the last album. It was like, written by Gene, sung
He's
by
singing it.
Gene.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep. All right. So many girls, so little time.
What are the redeeming, is there anything, maybe the riff's okay to begin with, but the vocal, and it's not a good riff, but the vocals are horrible here. He just really
The
struggles.
vocals are horrible. The lyrics are horrible. The song
Oh.
title is horrible.
Yeah.
It's all horrible.
Yep.
Yeah, I wrote vocal is so bad, it's stupid, and I can't believe that bands like this were getting signed.
Yeah.
Like this is.
Well, this is the beginning of the end, right? Eventually, 86, 87. I mean, and, like I said in an earlier podcast, this is a reason, this is why they hate us. And when I mean by they, I'm talking about the next scene,
Right.
the grunge, the
They
the
hated-
Nirvanas hated us. And I say us, but you know what I mean?
yeah.
Because of shit like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh.
No, this is a prime example. Predictable cock rock. I mean, that title. Could you get any more predictable? That's
Cheesy.
a title the parody Steel Panther would write for it because it's overdone.
So many girls.
So little,
Just,
little chat. Come on.
All right, next song, Electric Love.
More
okay.
junk.
Yeah, I said boring, nothing special. It's
Variety's
another.
okay,
Yeah, yep.
but what's the point if the songs blow?
I wrote, I wish this was an actual cult song. When I saw Electric, I was like,
Yeah.
that would be better.
Yeah.
Vocal feels like it should be a Wasp song. So there's your reference.
And he's very close to that style.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
He's not.
And then
far
it
off.
makes me start to, listening to this makes me really respect like LA Guns. Like they wrote,
And they would
Way better
write
songs.
great,
no.
but they wrote better than this.
Yeah.
All
right. Speed Demon.
Decent riff, but it's predictable.
I know.
It's that same old double bass.
Right.
Here's the starting line. Here's the end.
Yep.
And they're just going for it. But
I mean,
Keel is
you ever, like,
destroying
try to
these songs.
You ever try to figure out, not to get deep because you can't, but what is he singing about? That's obviously a car, maybe Speed Demon.
Which he's probably referring to as Dick.
Yeah, right.
Everything's like a, read between the lines.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Metaphor. Yeah.
Metaphorically, yeah.
Yeah.
But
I didn't
Oh.
I didn't try to figure it out. I just wrote, dude, this is so bad. And then how did Gene support this? Like,
Right.
well, he's hoping a cash grab. He's hoping this will
What's
sell.
Gene Simmons without Paul Stanley?
Nothing.
You know,
A school teacher
curious.
in New York.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
Yeah.
All right, get down.
I put a Kiss song again, and I was just like mad when I heard. I'm like, that's 5 minutes, terrible. I put this is the worst. This is the worst song. This sucks.
That's so bad.
I said, is it
I
over
said the
yet?
opening drum fill was kind of cool. We did a little. Cool
You know,
thing.
when you get older, like north of 50, like every minute of your life is like important. You know, you're sitting there going, what am I going to do tomorrow? I don't want to waste my
Precious
day. Or
time.
let's enjoy the weekends, talk about that a lot. And then I started like listening to that song and go, that's 5 friggin' minutes.
You never
That's
get
valuable. You know,
Yeah.
like, you know, that I'm never going to
You
get
could have hung
back.
a shelf in the living room for your wife.
Yeah.
But no, you listen to Keel.
Yeah, so you listeners out there, we're saving you time. by
Right.
telling
Yeah.
us. We're giving
Yeah.
you the
And
load-
don't go to like iTunes and like search it and go, oh, let's listen to the samples. There's reviews there, but they're reviews from people that are probably in the band
Yeah.
or their parents or family
Or they know.
or brainwashed.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that. You're like, I want to see a review that's like, this sucks. You know what I
Get
mean?
on
Like,
there.
you're
Do
getting
it.
1.5 stars or whatever.
Yep. All right, last song. You're the victim. I'm the crime.
Oh,
Yeah.
He's so badass.
this is like Bob Dylan lyrics.
What?
Yo, they got like 3 people that maybe they needed 4 guys
Yeah.
to write
well,
the
honestly,
song.
I think this is the best song on the album.
Yeah,
I wrote the same. The
Yeah.
best part of the album so far is the drum intro.
The drum
Right,
intro
yeah.
was cool. The riff was decent. You know, he had double bass in this one.
Yep.
And Keel still sucks.
Yeah.
Mm,
He's not helping these songs.
no,
I wrote Tone Sucks, but it's probably the best written song on the album.
right.
You know what I don't get?
This album.
I don't get any of this album, but why don't bands focus more on getting a sound, like their sound? You know, like a distinct, like when you hear it go, that's them.
Yeah, yeah.
These bands, they all have the same, like they put no effort into coming up with their own guitar tones, their own drum. You know, like Alex put all that time into developing a drum sound that's unique to him. Eddie, of course.
Yeah, you
know what
create
I
a
mean? Even
brand.
the Black Crowes. You know it's a Black Crowes. You know it's Zeppelin. These bands, you throw them all in a big pile of
Yep.
garbage. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You can't tell one from the other unless you know the singer.
Right.
That's what kills a lot of this.
Yeah. I
Well,
agree.
it kills
No
the scene.
effort.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree. Well, all right, to the fun part here. Say what you will. Does this album hold up, Mr. Zarakotis?
Yeah, I just downloaded it.
Nice. Make sure you leave a good review.
No, horrible. You know what we gotta do? We gotta do the worst albums we've reviewed.
We can do that on the recap of the.
Yeah.
And then
Well,
pick
Yeah.
the all-time worst.
yeah. Take a note. Put that in the show notes over there. You keep it good. Oh, really? All right, here we go. There's a pen. I said it does not hold up. I'm sorry. I really want to love Mr.
You are
Keel, but
Picky.
it
Mhm.
just doesn't hold up. Dennis.
So I don't think this thing held up in 1985,
No.
let alone
I had it.
40 years
Well, my
later.
brother had it.
Yeah, I
He
got
liked
it.
it.
I think I still got it on
You know,
CD.
you bought it because the cover
Yeah.
looked cool.
Yeah.
You didn't, you saw the one video.
Yeah,
You gave it. Once you own it, you own it.
right.
Stuck
Yeah.
with it.
Well, I think but there's also, I think, albums that we loved back then, and today we're like, yeah, this just doesn't.
Yeah, not all of it.
doesn't hold up.
No.
Mark, could you give me a glass of water, please?
Is there one, or do you want a bottled water? Or you
I don't care, whatever you got. Bottled
I got toilet water.
toilet water. You got a puddle outside, puddle of water.
Mm.
I'll take anything.
Want some ice?
No, thank you. No, I like my water warm or room temperature. No, I do.
Really?
Yeah, I'm a weirdo like that. All right, so the next album, Dennis.
You
Thank you,
want it?
sir.
Let's do. You want to do the firm? How about
Do
the firm?
firm.
Self-titled.
The Firm. Released on Atlantic. Right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Firm.
So, the Firm.
Supergroup.
Supergroup.
The
Paul
Firm.
Rogers, lead vocals, guitar and production.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy Page, obviously. We know what he does, and production. Tony Franklin, the fretless bass, does
Oh
some
my God.
keyboard synthesizers,
Yeah.
and he does a little background.
And the guy from the Motley Crue video is on drums.
Looks like him. I forgot he was in this band.
Chris Slade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was in AC/DC.
Yep.
So one point, since I read the lineup, what people don't get I don't think realize, this was a 2-guitar band.
I never realized that.
This was a 2-guitar band. Paul Rogers actually played rhythm guitar, and I did some research on this with Page and stuff, and he said that actually he was interviewed Guitar Player magazine or whatever 3 years ago, and they were talking about this album, and he says, yeah, Jimmy would say, hey, why don't you go and try and do the solo now? Like just kidding around, goofing around, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And but yeah, this was a 2-guitar. Paul Rogers played
Rogers, though, he never played guitar with Bad Company
No.
or Free,
No, but
right?
I think he wrote.
He wrote,
Yeah.
I guess he could play, but he never played on the album.
Right.
Right.
You know what? So Lisa told me this was her first concert.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
She went?
Yeah. So I should ask her if he was playing on stage.
Yep.
See if she remembers. My question is, was this a Paul Rogers put together or a Jimmy Page put together? Meaning, was this Paul saying, hey, Jimmy, let's do an album in a band? Or is this the other way around? I get a sense that it was Paul putting this together.
Might have been.
What I
Page
heard,
is doing nothing at this point, right?
that was the problem. So,
And he's doing nothing on the albums in most part. I'm sorry to jump in.
yeah, and you're talking not a great time for Page, right? In terms of his demons and drug use and everything.
Whoa.
But what Rogers said that putting this project together, really ultimately, he wanted to get Page back playing again. Because Page, after the Led Zeppelin, was just kind of floating around there, not doing much session work.
But isn't this the same year they played
Live Aid?
Live Aid?
No,
Him and Robert?
Yeah.
that was 87,
7?
and that's why this band broke up.
Well,
Because
you wanna get
according to
back with-
Slade said they thought that it would keep going. And then Rogers and Page was like, no, what we did is we agreed on 2 albums. And then we were going to reassess how it went from there. But the problem is, and Slade was like, me and Tony Franklin, we were like thinking like, this is great. We're having fun. We're selling out, arenas. We're doing well. Let's keep it going. He claims that there was, after that Live Aid, that there was threats of a Zepp reunion.
Wow.
And Page was getting a little bit antsy about that, and that he didn't want to commit to keep going with the Firm. And then, of course, we all know what happened.
Well, they only did 2 albums, right?
That's right.
They did another album.
Which is really what they were contracted for. They were only going to do 2. But, I mean, so that's a little interesting. So the charts, this reached number 17 in the U.S. and number 15 in the U.K. and, the Atlantic label, and it was a gold album. So not really
It didn't really.
commercially successful when you think about it. And,
We'll get into that.
I think the tough part is that when you listen to this album, and we'll get into the details soon, you got to remember at the time, and not us, but people listening to this, there were a lot of videos going around. You've got that, like the riff, it was just a lot different. People are using synthesizer. This is really, when you think about it, a 70s band. This really is a 70s band.
Yeah.
The way they wrote, the way they're playing this, even the guys that are in it, they're 70s musicians. So it's almost like they stuck to that kind of formula, and like there's some Bad Company in this, I think, and then there's a little bit
Oh,
taste of Zeppelin and stuff, but
yep.
1970s,
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't what was really going on in hard rock.
No,
in
we
85.
wanted, because they were looking for
they're older
makeup,
guys,
long hair, makeup, and
Yeah.
the flash and the videos and stuff like that. I just don't.
It wasn't them,
No. All right, let's jump in.
All right.
First song is Closer.
Jesus Christ, the first thing that hits you right in the stomach.
I said, here we go again with that fretless bass.
Yeah, that's right. I said that's what I
Closer,
got.
is that what we're doing?
I mean, wow.
It's almost lead fretless bass.
Yeah. So much so that I think I wrote Page's guitar just sounds like it's in the back of the room.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is really weird. I thought the song, I'm going to say it was okay, in my opinion. I just didn't think it had any balls, to be honest with you. I was really waiting for something.
It does. Well, I put here, it doesn't go anywhere. Just feels like it just keeps repeating, and then the horns, and then the sax solo, and it's like, you think the first song from
You
a
come
guy,
out of the gate,
well, from a guy who wrote all these classic riffs, and so, you think you would have something to sink your teeth into,
Right?
And you get this, and
I don't think. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think any of this is materially he had for Zeppelin that, Bonham died, and then he's like, "Oh, what do I do? Well, let me use it with this." It looked like he wrote this with Rogers.
yeah, it's just not where I would have thought it would be.
Yeah, you would expect something more,
Yeah. I'd probably rather hear some stuff he was writing with for Zeppelin. Hear that.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember buying this back then and being disappointed.
Yeah.
That, to be frank, I mean, I remember buying it going, oh my God, Page,
And
Rogers.
it's different. Like we bought 84, we were disappointed, but that grew on me, and I love the album.
Yeah.
This never grew on me.
No.
Yeah.
All right, next song, Make or Break. Written by Rogers.
I just got awful guitar tone. Okay track. He's like really experimenting too much with his effects.
Mm-hmm.
I love Rogers on it. I mean,
Yeah.
Rogers can sing.
Right.
No doubt about that. And it's almost got I was picking up kind of a rock steady vibe. This song.
Yeah.
Rock
I wrote here, this is a total Bad Company feel.
Yeah, this one you could tell was
Yep.
probably written a lot by Paul.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Over 4
His
minutes
guitar
long.
tone is not.
Nah.
Yeah, well, I wrote, I'm not a fan of Jimmy's guitar tone here. It's just off. All right, Someone to Love, third song. Little drum intro from the Motley Crue guy,
Yeah.
the school teacher in the video.
I
think-
like the opening riff.
Mm.
Tone sucks still.
Yeah.
I don't like the fretless bass sound.
No,
I'm not a fan
Franklin
of that.
is all over
I'm just not
this.
a fan of it.
I'm glad he didn't do it as much on the Blue Murder stuff that we've reviewed.
Not as much.
Right.
And I just wrote, I expect more from Page.
I put down Page needs to be louder in the mix.
Yeah.
I think there's a big
Especially,
problem with this.
The all
production.
guys in the band, he's the behind the mix. He's
Yeah.
the star.
Yeah, the production and the mix is just so bland.
Yeah. Who produced this? Them? Or
No, it was Rogers and Page.
yeah.
I mean, who else, right?
Man,
Yeah.
I tell you, we always talk about producing
Yeah.
your own albums. You don't have that outside ear, with
But you think Jimmy would have? I mean, he did all the Zepp, so you think he would.
No, they used John's on a lot of that, right?
He produced a lot of it.
Did he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't mind you producing with a producer,
yeah.
but when you have no producer input at all and you're just writing your own stuff, you don't know what sucks and not. You can think everything's great because you wrote it,
Yep.
and no one's there to say, "Hold on,"
Yeah. I
Hmm.
said it feels like a jam too at parts. Just doesn't go anywhere again.
Long.
Yeah.
Mm.
All right, next song, Together. I just have one note on this.
I got
said,
forgettable
this is just a
ballad.
shitty song.
Yeah,
nowhere.
the acoustic ballad.
But a bad one.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
we're what 5 songs in.
4.
4 songs in here, and Rogers is holding this album together.
Yeah, yeah.
Not Page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by a thread,
Mm.
you know.
Yep. All right. Next song, Radioactive.
This was their single. This
Written
was
by Rogers.
Right. This was the video, the single. I mean, I don't mind it compared to what we've heard. The bass is okay. Page comes in, which is pretty, 2 minutes, 49 seconds. I mean, that's a fast song. I mean, that's like punk type.
In and out.
Yeah.
I never liked the tune,
No.
and I think I don't like it because there's no balls. This album has no balls. There's no distortion on his guitar. There's no crunch. There's no power. It's just boring.
Well, one of the things I noted here, and kind of goes on all the songs, is like Rogers is almost too polished with this stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
his voice is so polished and so good,
Mm.
and the music is very polished. Like when he's in Bad Company or Free,
Raw.
it's raw. The guitar sound is
I like
great
raw.
tone,
Right.
great raw sound. But when you put all this, when all the instruments are polished,
It's
just
overproduced.
It's
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Like it's processed.
yeah.
Um,
I like the bridge in the song. I like the progression of it in that part.
this is almost like what you expect Robert Plant's solo albums. You know how
Oh,
he just
Yeah.
he gets away from rock.
yeah,
Well, yeah, but I would argue that he's probably a better writer than what we're
Yeah,
seeing
definitely.
yeah,
here. You know what I mean?
yep.
Yeah.
All right, next song. You've Lost That Love and Feeling, the cover.
Yeah. So I put So I
You
again.
loved it. You loved it. I know.
Well, I mean,
I know
I
you did, Dennis. Just say it. I know you loved
I
it.
loved it.
Yeah, another one of these like, why are you doing this?
Why?
You're better than that. But that said, Rogers does sound great. You know what I
Rogers
mean?
is a great singer.
I mean, he's just an incredible singer. But yeah, just it doesn't fit
Doesn't
the
fit.
album.
Why that song?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You lost that love and feeling. It's like, what?
Mm.
Stop.
I wonder who else has covered that song.
No one.
Mm.
I don't know.
Maybe. All right, Money Can't Buy.
I just,
Rogers song again.
I just said, who would have thought bringing 2 classic musicians together could create such a lackluster album?
Yeah.
You know? If you told me
Mm.
Paul Rogers and Jimmy Page are doing an album, I'd be like,
Yeah.
wow, that's going to be bluesy rock.
Yep.
Mm.
And in this.
This to me, I think, is a very obvious Bad Company song, just the way it's structured
Yeah.
and the riff, even.
But it's not even as good as Bad Company.
Yeah,
I
He
wrote,
wrote better in Bad Company.
oh, yeah. I wrote, this is a bad song. And it's like, is Jimmy really in the band? Like, I can't
Yeah,
hear
I
him over
know.
the bass.
yeah,
Like, the bass leads
Yeah,
are
yeah.
all over.
How would he allow that? How does Jimmy
Well,
Page
he
allow
may-
himself to
he-
be down
well,
in the mix?
Dennis mentioned this may have been during the
yeah.
induced coma time where he wasn't really caring. And
I think it was just to get him back playing again, and I don't know, man. It's just Page's. I mean, you see interviews with the guy, and he seems pretty cool and stuff. And I know Rosen had some comments about him,
Yeah.
but he just, God, where is he? I mean, what? No music, hasn't done anything.
for right now.
Yeah. Oh, he
Oh.
hasn't done anything in 10 years.
Well, he's 80 now, too.
But if,
Yeah, okay, when he was 70, he was useless.
Yeah, no, I know.
I'm totally loving the little video interviews that the Crows are.
Oh,
releasing.
yeah, that's
They're
great.
Really good.
That's
hearing them
great.
talk.
Yeah. But I mean, he doesn't look like an asshole there. He seems
No.
really nice, and
Which thing?
What?
well, they're promoting the
promoting
live
the-
at the Greek.
And so they're
Well, that's the last thing he's done, right? With the Black Rose.
maybe,
Decent.
Before that, he did the thing with
Coverdale.
Coverdale.
but they're releasing all these little video snippets. The Black Crows are, and it's interviewing of Chris, Rich, and Paige talking about the album.
Huh.
It's very cool. All right. Next,
Satisfaction.
Oh, Satisfaction
Yeah, Satisfaction Guaranteed.
I put like, oh my God, Zepp intro. You know, there was a little bit of that with the guitar.
I kind of like this track.
Yeah.
This is my favorite track.
Probably the best song in the album.
Yep.
Not great, but it sounds great after what you've been listening to.
Yeah. Great vocal.
I like the chorus.
Yeah, I like the chorus. It's very catchy. To me, this is the favorite and best song on the album.
Yeah.
I like the guitar song, too. Christina, you have something to say? I don't know.
Just want to know if you needed a.
No, I wanted to know if you were recording.
Yes.
Yes.
No, we're
You're
just
on the podcast. All right.
all right. And last song, Midnight Moonlight. Dennis, go.
All right. So
With one word.
Well,
Well,
he can.
This is based on the Led Zeppelin song that was never released called Swan Song.
Right.
So
Oh,
that's the
really?
structure like that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
it was written for,
Houses?
yeah, and then it was never released.
Yeah.
And it was called Swan Song, though, right? Is that what you
Yes.
just said?
Yep.
Yeah.
Obvious in the beginning of the song.
Yeah.
You can see
Oh, it's
that.
oh, wait a minute.
9 friggin' minutes
Oh,
long.
I'm gonna admit right now, guys, I didn't listen to the whole
Yeah.
9 minutes. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Well, no. 9 minutes feels like 9 hours. And like you said, Dennis, that you can't get that 9 minutes back.
No.
There's so much more you can
No.
do with your time.
Yeah.
You know.
When you put these,
I did the dishes.
Talk about a song that goes nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the problem with a lot of these songs. They're just dragged out.
You just get these guys
9
together in a
minutes
room. You think they do a lot more than what they did.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Say what you will, Mr. Dennis.
I'm gonna say no. But back then and today, I feel like I still feel this was a missed opportunity,
Yeah.
and I'm still disappointed. And maybe these guys figure, well, 40 years later, doing interviews or whatever, that Rogers has done, that maybe this music would have grown because they were ahead of the time. I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's funny. For as much as Paul Rogers sounded like Paul Rogers in Bad Company, Jimmy Page didn't sound like Jimmy Page.
No.
This
No.
could have been Mark Ferrari in there.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely did shine. This is a swing and a miss,
Yeah.
for me.
Well, I
Even
think
then,
what's even worse than his guitar playing is his production.
the production
and
sucks,
his
his tone
mixing.
sucks.
I mean,
the mix,
they-
everything. Well, they're doing it themselves. They think they're
they think they're Paul Rogers and Jimmy Page.
well, yeah, because they are. They think they can do stuff like that themselves.
Yeah.
But good, smart bands know that that's not like Metallica. They know they're great, but they know they need a fucking producer
Yeah.
to help. You know what I mean? And look at them.
We had 8 producers.
Right. We still suck. No. No, but I mean,
Yeah. No, I hear you.
I mean,
We've
come
said it.
on.
We've said it. Definitely. All right. So there's 3 no's.
who knows?
Moving on to our last album of the podcast, The Cult Love.
What do we got on these guys?
Who are these guys?
So the band, Ian Astbury, lead vocals.
Ass. He said ass.
He's
Billy,
got Asbury's?
the Billy Duffy
Billy
guitars.
Duffy.
Yep. Jimmy Stewart, bass and keyboards.
The actor?
He
That's, wonderful.
he was in Death Cult.
Hey, baby.
He was one of the
He was in what?
Death Cult. He was one of the original founders
Huh.
of the cult. Yeah. And then he ended up staying with the band until '89. Nigel Preston.
Did he do that 89 Sonic Temple album?
Yeah.
And then he left?
Yeah. So,
So this
and
is
I
the
think
second album, right?
This is their
this is
second.
their second out. Well, yeah, second release
Yeah.
for the most part as the cult. But you want to highlight this guy's name, kind of, because I think that we'll talk about him a lot in this music. Nigel Preston drums. He was a founding member as well. So he was done after this release because he was pissed off because the band, Asbury and Billy Duffy were paying him a salary. He wasn't getting
Oh, really?
any writing credits. So this gets into like a lot of similarities with the Black Crowes here, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got the brothers, and it's Asbury Duffy. They're doing all the writing. They do the writing and everything, the lyrics and all that.
Yeah.
And it's, then you start seeing, I guess these guys were a little ahead of the game. Like, it's not all for four or, all for one, all for four or whatever,
Right.
It's like, no. Asbury and Duffy were clear that,
They were the driving
That's
force.
right. Yep.
Yep.
Second release, considered somewhat of a commercial breakthrough. Reason being, it did achieve gold status as far as sales. The label was Beggar's Banquet,
Yeah.
which was on Sire, S-I-R-E.
Steve Brown, producer. I don't know
What?
what else. It's Steve
He
Brown.
plays in Tesla.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know who.
Mild Steve. That's right. Mild Steve. Who knew?
He's old.
Yeah.
All right, you want to jump in?
Sure.
All right, first song. Stone Temple Pilots. No, Nirvana. Sorry.
Nirvana.
I got decent song.
Yep.
Not really hard rock. More U2 type-ish.
I wrote there a heavy U2.
They're U2.
You the
They're
same?
European.
Exact same thing. Heavy U2.
Heavy
Yeah.
U2.
Yep.
And I thought this is kind of a long song for an opener. Coming
So
in
why-
5:24?
But why do you say U2?
His guitar tone.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
His guitar
That's
tone.
exactly it.
It's
yeah.
not crunchy.
Great guitar player. Let's just
Yeah, he can play.
but the tone is not.
Well, it's
Not
not,
enough
even,
crunch
It's
for
not
me.
even the tone. He plays.
It's clean,
Well, no, he plays riffs that are
open.
string picked, meaning they're not like a bar riff or a chord.
Yeah, like Edge.
Like the Edge, right? Edge just adds a lot
It's
more
very
effect over it.
similar to Edge,
So yeah, that's what gives it that feel.
yeah, which I'm not a big
extremely-
fan of.
No, extremely unique voice, which is great,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. Oh, I love the guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I've seen this band live like probably 5-6 times.
Yeah.
He's something.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, he's probably the English version of like. I mean, he's not at the same level as Robinson, but he's got that shtick going on up there.
Yep.
He's got the tambourine and everything. He gets going.
Yeah.
And I think and people that follow this band know that Asbury is all about symbols, and that he's not coming out there where he's not writing the right to rock. You know what I mean?
No, no.
You know what I mean? He's very, I mean, here's a guy that
He's
played with the
spiritual.
Doors, right? Remember when he did that stint with the Doors?
No.
He did a stint with the
he
Doors.
Was in the Doors for a
Yeah,
short
they did
period.
like it was
Well,
like
it's
a
funny,
tour
Oh,
or whatever.
Scott Stapp, I thought, was in that.
I don't know, but it's funny you say that because at times he reminds me of Jim Morrison.
Oh yeah, no.
But the drums are not mixed well,
No,
which is kind of upsetting.
Mm-hmm.
I can blame Steve Brown.
Yeah,
He was a drummer too, so
right.
And then they do that mid-song shuffle or
Yeah.
whatever.
Not
Yeah.
a huge fan of the chorus. It follows their formula though, which is funny. Like there's a mellow verse and then a big chorus.
yeah.
They have that formula throughout. Matter of fact, some of the formula on this album you can hear on Sonic Temple.
Mm-hmm.
Like they do this, they follow the same
Yeah.
thing.
Mm.
So let's see. I wrote a lot of notes here though. No solo, just
Right.
like a little breakdown,
Yeah.
which is U2-ish, and then there's a little guitar change. Solo on the outro, I kind of dug.
Oh, you did some deep
And
dive.
towards the end of the song, I didn't mind it.
Yeah, it was okay,
Mm-hmm.
decent.
All right, next song, Big Neon Glitter.
Boy, this is a U2 intro.
Oh, this is
And I just was like, this is like at the time the Simple Minds. If you guys have ever listened to them,
Yeah, I mean,
they
it's
got
lending
that,
itself
yeah.
more to Euro pop than rock.
Mhm.
yeah.
You know. I don't know. I got to be honest. I'm not a big Ian Asbury fan.
Yeah.
I don't know why. He's a good singer.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just his voice, his tone, or not his tone, but just the way he sounds. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
not my thing, but
Well, you're wrong. No, just kidding.
no. I mean, I don't know. I just never got into it
Yeah.
that much.
This song also reminds me of a Heavy Doors type. Too.
Yeah.
Well, he's got to be influenced by
Yeah.
that.
Very catchy groove.
Mhm.
The drums do a little tribal thing.
Yep.
Duffy's doing his best U2 thing.
Yeah.
Catchy guitar hook. Again, this is another one that grew on me towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, third song, Love.
Oh, love the intro, the guitar. This is kind of like a prog goth song, you know what I mean? Which is really their background. You know, the Southern Death Cult and things of that nature.
Yeah.
They were a goth band that eventually evolved to become, hard rock, and then I don't know what they're even doing now. So, I mean, that's good because whether you like it or not, they're artists and they're creating.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like you can make fun of the lyrics and the titles and all that, but I mean, he's not like throwing out cheese here. I mean, he's literally these are deep.
Yeah, he's not singing about getting late on Friday night, and
No.
driving your car down.
South Willow.
He's spiritual. He
Right.
does more of that.
Well,
He is more. The content,
Right.
lyrical content, is a little bit more mature, right?
Yep.
the songwriting, whether you kind of like it or not, is way better than like Keel.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's unique.
I think a lot of bands
original.
actually.
Yeah, right. That's
Keel's
the other-
just doing everything that's been done
Yep.
over and over because it's
Yeah.
they're just not that talented.
I mean, we're talking about the first couple songs, and I'm hearing The Doors.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hearing U2, Simple Minds.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of, because he's just, the band is just very diverse. They're different. They're creating their own style, and I think that's pretty cool.
Right. You got to give them credit for. No one sounds like this band.
No.
Nope.
Nope.
No.
They
No.
and that's like I said, that is not an easy thing to do. Ask Keel.
Yeah.
They don't know how to sound like themselves.
Right.
You know what this band is, if we want to classify them? And I think I can remember, because I remember when I went to college the next year, 86, and I remember listening to these they're like a college band, really.
Yeah.
Because, and like the Replacements, and back in those days, the Smiths, remember the
Yeah.
Smiths? It's like, how do you label that band? Like, what are they?
Yeah.
They're English, but they're weird and all that. The
Same
Cult
here.
was kind of like that,
Yeah,
until they broke through with, what was it, Sonic Temple?
Sonic Temple,
You
they-
could say Electric, but wait a minute. When Electric came out, we didn't know. That was after this.
Yeah.
So people weren't sure what they were getting.
Right.
You know what I mean? Which speaks to the creative process again. They go and they hire Rick Rubin, and they come out with this dirty, ballsy, like just stripped down, hard rock,
Yeah.
AC/DC type of vibe
Which was
album.
popular at that time.
Yeah.
With
It's a good one.
Junkyard, Little Caesar, and all these other bands in L.A. It was all about street.
Yeah, but that's all what they were
stripped-down
doing
rock.
for 5 years, like trying to recreate that. They went from this to that.
Yeah.
So I think that depth is,
Well, they evolved,
yeah.
and when you have talent and skill, you can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Where some guys can never change because they don't have the ability to
Yep.
change.
Right.
Yep.
You know?
I wrote, I like the riff, the guitar overlay in the beginning. I said the song actually feels like grunge before grunge was around. Has some feel of there.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. When grunge come out, these guys could still fit in that landscape.
Yeah.
They didn't go to the wayside with the Poisons and the Warrants. And
Right.
This band could still
Mm-hmm.
go out there and play to a successful fan base
Yep.
because of this music. I like Duffy on this song.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I said his guitar solo was great. I actually he's using the wah-wah pedal. It was awesome.
Yeah.
But there's a part in this song where Ian is talking, and again, it's very Jim Morrison E.
Yeah, he's got to be
Um,
influenced by that.
So that was
Another long one though.
was it?
5:30.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
You know, they're a little long.
Well, speaking of Morrison, number 4, Brother Wolf, Sister Moon.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's no secret that, Asbury is really drawn to that American Indian type of, and they ended up releasing an album that I have that I think I'll get into it later, but I think it's awesome. It's got heavier guitars and stuff, but no one ever heard of it because it was during a time when alternative was pretty heavy. But anyways, there's a lot of themes of this Brother Wolf. I mean, this is like a goth song. It's very slow, or like you said, that's a great analogy. The Doors, you know.
It's definitely a trippy tune.
Mm-hmm.
And long. This is a longer one, I think.
6 minutes.
Yeah.
48 seconds.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I couldn't hang in that long because I didn't think the song
Mark,
was.
I can't hang that long either.
You know, Brother Wolf, Sister Moon, Sugar Talker, Wildflower, Spirit Walker,
think we had a
Firewoman,
podcast
Sweet
named that.
Soul Sister. I mean,
Yeah.
he uses that.
What was that? What was that? We had a podcast where you
It was
called
like
that. What band was that?
Wildflower, Spirit Walker, Sugar Talker.
Yeah, I
what
can't
band were we
remember what.
reviewing?
Them. We did the
Oh,
album.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the first, yeah.
You're right. Same band.
What a
The-
dope I am. What were we reviewing?
No,
Damn, you knucklehead.
to finish my point, the album was called Ceremony. It was released in '91, and it had that single "Wild Hearted
yeah.
Son."
Yeah.
What year?
That '91, so
Oh.
no one heard it. Basically, that's very good.
That's a good
This is a
up-tempo
very-
tune. I can
yeah.
hear it right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of good.
How did it sell?
I don't think it sold because it was '91, but
Yeah,
it's
but-
got Earth Mofo. It's got Full Tilt. I mean, Duffy is really stretching out on this album. So I know that's a long.
So is that after Sonic?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, very good. I
I think that might have hurt them doing Sonic, and then when that scene died, because they had made a Sonic album, they got lumped in and
I think
didn't
I
give that a chance.
I
Yeah,
think I read
maybe.
somewhere that they were really pressured into doing that type of album with Sonic.
Yeah,
Like they,
which labeled them, and the next thing you know, the scene falls apart, and they
Yeah.
go down with it.
yeah. All right, what are we on? Rain.
Rain.
Okay.
Single, right?
Yep.
That's a single. Yeah, I said okay track. I wish Duffy had a ballsier guitar tone. It's a little too poppy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like we talked about. You two. I'd like to hear some of these songs change that tone a little bit. But it was okay song.
I said this is more of a straight ahead rock, but they follow that formula that they use, which is a riff building into a mellow verse, and then they build into a chorus. They do that with a lot of songs. Good tune. I like it. The AC/DC bass type feel. It's just a riding one note, just
Yeah.
driving the song. And the solo is very, very much like The Edge.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's all
Yeah.
over that. You know,
Yeah, I
style.
liked it. Huge hit back then. The riff and so forth.
Yeah.
All right, 6, Phoenix.
So, wow, the effects, the Duffy. This is my favorite song on the
I wrote
album.
the same thing.
Yeah, it's mine
Yeah.
too.
My favorite.
Yeah, I mean, how about Asbury? I mean, he's really like getting into his own. You could just see him singing this.
He's
you know?
trippy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But I mean, frickin' Duffy is. Oh my God, he's just
wow.
It
He had a
sounds-
wah-wah effect
Yeah.
going
Yep.
in this. It was
It
great.
almost like All Along the Watchtower.
Yeah.
In the middle of that.
He's just takes off.
Yep.
It's almost had a Alice in Chains kind of feel to it too. You know how they have that kind of
Right.
not trippy, but
Yeah.
kind of like
Groove trip.
you know, kind of rolling kind of vibe.
Yep.
That was my favorite track. Still coming in 5 minutes. These songs
Yeah.
are not short, but I guess it lends itself to the writing, right?
Mm.
Yeah, you can't write
That trippy stuff.
in
Short.
2 minutes.
Right.
Right.
I also said that Ian's singing in this reminded me of like some bands after this date started to like copy him. Like Take Me Down has a little
Yeah.
likes him, you can feel, or even
Yeah.
Bang Tango Band. Was,
Yeah, they were
like a heavy version of the
influenced
Cult.
by this. Yeah.
I like the ending. It was like they put their instruments down and just walked off. You know, feedback.
Yeah,
Everything
yeah,
going.
really.
Yeah. Oh, his wah effect on it was great.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, we're starting to see a guy that we know what he's eventually going to become, right? So,
Yep.
Yeah.
No, what are we on?
Hollow Man.
I thought this one was a little boring,
Mm-hmm.
long, just drawn out rhythms. It's almost like you could, you know, it's meant for people that want to just, you know, smoke a big joint,
Right.
just sit on their couch and put this on. You know what I mean?
Yep.
This is another long tune. It's under 5, but I don't know. I didn't think it was
Mm-hmm.
great.
I said it was okay tune. I wish the drums were higher in the mix. They're kind of buried in this one.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, number 8, Revolution.
I just said buckle up. Another way too long track.
Yeah. Slow song.
I think I dozed off at the 152 mark.
Mm.
I wasn't
know.
digging the song.
This long, but
Yeah.
the tempo.
Yeah, they're just isolating Asbury's somewhat,
Yeah, it's
with the
just-
vocal.
Yep. All right, number 9, She Sells Sanctuary.
So this was the huge song, right? The single, the video.
Yep.
Guitar intros, pretty cool. Then the drums, bass, the power there. I mean, the bass player is pretty prominent on this album. I think Jamie Stewart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I like this song.
Yep.
Biggest hit on the album. Yeah.
Well, this got them selling albums.
It's their
Yeah.
best
And,
song on
you
the
know.
album. Best,
And the drums are mixed totally different on this song. Like, they're
Yeah,
mixed
that's
well.
weird how they do that.
Yeah. Like, the last song was horrible. Now
Yeah.
this one's perfect.
And that's typically when they get a drum sound for an album, it usually
Stick
stays
with it. Right.
the whole album.
Yeah. But even the guitar had a little better of a tone, too.
Mm.
But yeah, no, this is a good tune, and this is their number 1 stream song on Spotify.
Wow.
It's actually 2 songs on their top 5 from this album. This and Rain.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are 2 hits, right?
The other ones are from Electric, the next album. All right, last song, Black Angel.
Just another
Yeah.
5-minute here.
Yeah, I didn't like it. I think this is back to goth.
It's just, I just said, if you're having trouble sleeping, just throw this nugget on. You'll be out cold. in 2
What's the last
minutes.
song? He will listen to the other tunes.
It's just, like I said, I think it's meant for people that are freaking tripping or stoned and
Yeah.
you just
Yeah.
want to sit in
Yeah.
your couch and just
That's his.
go somewhere.
Yeah.
That's his vibe, man. That's
Yeah,
what
maybe that's what he's.
I don't
hearing
know that
himself.
these guys were like, "Hey, we got to write hits for MTV."
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
I mean,
But they had him.
you're right, but I mean, I think this, they were artists. They had something they were working on, and
Yeah.
that was it.
Yeah. No, and it's great that kind of the label let him go that way. I actually liked the guitar intro. I said the song felt like it could have been in like a Pulp Fiction movie.
Mm.
Yeah,
It could have
yeah.
been they're
Yeah.
driving down the road.
Yeah.
This is playing in the background. It's kind of a trippy Tarantino type thing.
Right. A lot of the songs on here.
Yeah.
Mm.
But it makes it the third slowest. We get a lot of this tempo on this album.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
But this one's better than Revolution.
Mm-hmm.
But all right, yeah. Say what you will, Mark. Does this album hold up for you today? You and only you.
This one's
Don't speak for me. You.
you. It's all you. A lot of songs I'm not into on this, but the fact it's got 2 hits and I like Phoenix and I like Duffy on it, I'll say it holds up.
I'm gonna say it holds up to me too. I haven't listened to it in a while, and
It would grow on me too.
I just
think.
love the uniqueness of it, and like we could probably have it on here. And
But if you're in your
Wouldn't-
car and you put that last song on, that's a good driving song. It's going on. You're driving down the road. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It fits that kind of
you drive,
element.
you drive to California, and it's still on.
And it's still on when you get into LA.
Dennis, how about you? So it's a yes for me.
So I'm gonna agree with you guys. I think it holds up. I feel like this was a band that had a lot of creativity, and I'm not sure that the world was ready for this band right now. And to have the set of balls to come out with this music in '85,
Yeah, they're definitely original.
you know, and I like Asbury. And maybe it's because I've seen him live, and I think that Duffy is going to grow as a guitar player. But so folks, I mean, yeah, you got to listen. Rain, Phoenix, She Sells Sanctuary. These are songs that I think that, as Derek pointed out, you could have it on right now, and it's okay. I mean, not every freaking album we're going to review is going to sound like AC/DC or Eddie Van Halen ripping through. I mean, I think this guy is, we use the analogy of heavy U2 or whatever, but
Well,
I
I think
don't know.
what's happening here in these first couple albums is there's promise, with this band, you know what I mean? But they need the producer. And this Steve Brown, I don't know this guy. Once they get it, Ruben, then the guy can go, these guys I can work with. I can pull something out of Asbury. I can work with Duffy. These guys have potential.
yeah.
And they need the producer to put it. They weren't there yet, because they don't have the producer to they just need to be fine tuned more.
Yeah.
And I think that came later.
I think the unsung hero here, not hero, that's a strong word. I think the guy that plays really well on this is Jamie Stewart, the bass player. You can hear him a lot, boom, 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 with that rumbling bass. It's pretty cool.
So did Ruben do electric?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
He
Yeah.
had Sonic. Did he do Sonic?
No, he didn't. No, that was Rock, I think.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
Bob Rock.
Yeah, Bob Rock. Yeah, but the thing is, it's, I don't know. Asbury is his own man. He's not like, he's like a strange dude, but I think he's really, like, when was the last time you heard anything about him? He's his
private.
own.
He's a private
Yeah,
guy.
I don't think I've heard him talk.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's cool live. He gets into it a lot, and he's got but he's all business,
yeah.
he's not up there looking to like it's not cock rock or shit like that, it's.
But the point I was making, when Bob Rock got a hold of this guy, he's like, I can do something with this band.
Yeah, Sonic
this
Temple.
band,
Yep.
That helps, man,
I mean, look, we know Rick Rubin is a one album guy anyways.
Right.
Because he's so intense.
That's him.
That's Ian Asbury?
Yeah, it looks like
a lot different now.
Looks like what's his name from
What was that?
Electric
Recent?
Boy's drummer.
Was that recent?
This is 2014. Some interview.
Yeah, he Rick Rubin, great producer and all that, but very intense, very demanding. I mean, you're doing one album with the guy and that's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You
Right.
know?
But, I mean, this Bob Rock album would
I mean,
platinum.
would you? I mean, we're spending a lot of time here on this, but I think it's important because it's the only one that passed the test, so to speak. Billy Duffy, would you? I mean, kind of underrated.
Yeah.
Would you say?
Well, you
I
know
mean,
why? It's not a guitar band.
Yeah.
It's not Rat. It's not a showcasing guitar. It's almost showcasing Asbury and his vibe and his, just like the Doors.
Yeah.
It was Jim Morrison
Well,
show. It wasn't who's the guitar player in
Krieger.
Doors? Krieger.
Yeah.
or it's almost like
But he wasn't the star of that show.
it's almost like Rival Sons with
Yeah, same
Those
thing.
two.
It's all
Right.
about the singer.
That's right.
And the singer,
Yeah.
who's
guitar
another
player's
Jim
great,
Morrison kind of guy.
does good stuff. But the singer is
the singer's the focal point. And I think Asbury was such a, presence that Duffy almost takes a back seat.
The other thing about the Cult that's important to know is that they got to be one of the bands that had the most B-sides or unreleased bonus tracks. They're like at the level of U2. U2 was the same way.
Oh, really?
Tons of bonus tracks and everything. U2, I mean, these guys, so they write a lot of music. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah. All right. Well, that's it. That's all she wrote.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for listening. Again, share the podcast with as many folks as you can. Help us get the word out.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter. Mark, I want you to leave us with some parting words. Lead us in prayer.
Okay. Well, I was just reading something here about the Cult. They did demos with Eric Singer on drums.
Wow.
But he didn't play on it, right?
No. I wonder if he was possibly the drummer for Sonic. And then
Who was
what's
the
his name?
drummer on that album?
What's his name from Guns?
Look it. He was. They had a bunch of different drummers.
For
They
what?
didn't have a drummer.
For Sonic?
Yeah.
Well,
They
what?
used Singer. They used Chris Taylor from
Jump Up.
Jumpa. Mickey Curry from Bryan Adams. So I don't know.
What's his name? Who was the drummer of Guns that replaced Adler?
Sorum?
Sorum.
Matt Sorum.
He's the one that...
Yes.
He
like,
played on the album
tour.
before, right? Oh, he toured on that?
Yes.
He's
Oh,
in the videos
You're right.
and
I saw him
everything.
All
there.
right,
Yeah.
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 Well, that's what kind of catapulted him into Guns N' Roses.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is
Put him
this,
on a
this is
resume.
Black this is Black Crows, two guys.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Well, Jamie Stewart's on that, though.
Yeah.
Is
Jimmy
he still
Stewart?
with them?
Jimmy Stewart?
Jimmy Stewart.
The bass.
Yeah.
He's gone.
Oh, wonderful,
Hey.
All right. Let's wrap
All right.
this up. All right. Everyone, thanks, and see you on the next cast.
Cool.
See ya.